the chair rocking? Why is the chair?
My heart is pounding. This place just isn't right.
With so many paranormal investigating groups out there, have you ever wondered, do they ever get the same type of footage? There has to be somebody who can look at different footage and see, did these groups actually get the same exact evidence while they were investigating the Conjuring House? And that's what we're gonna look at today. Now keep in mind, I'm gonna be doing other videos with other haunted locations. So yeah, let's continue with this conversation. Now, I didn't just get any paranormal investigator groups. I actually got 4 different types of people, or groups, I should say, that have a different format. So Mysteries Decoded is all about a skeptic. She used to be a private investigator, and she goes out to these places and locations with unexplained phenomenon, which does include haunted locations. Now, she'll usually bring in a special guest, and in this episode of The Conjuring, she brought in a paranormal investigator named Sarah Gray, who's a friend of mine. She was also a co-host of mine on the Halloween special, Spirit Squad. Now, I do know the production team very well. Now, I deem them pretty credible because they don't try to fake things, and Jenna is a great host in the sense that she asks questions and is very much of a skeptical mind. And so I'm going to compare some of the footage from Mysteries Decoded to also Ghost Adventures. Now we have 2 YouTubers that I will be introducing also in this video. The first is called the Stokes Twins. Now, I don't know much about this YouTuber group, but I do know that they are a very popular group. They do challenges and go to different locations, and they did do a Conjuring episode. So the reason why I chose this group in particular is because they're not your typical paranormal investigating group. In fact, they are not a paranormal investigator group, but they did use equipment, they did talk to a psychic medium, and they did spend a couple of days there. It'll be fascinating to compare these other 2 shows to that of these YouTubers to see what kind of data they got. Now, the 4th group that I will be adding on is the famous paranormal investigating team of Sam and Colby. Now, I do understand that they released a 4-part YouTube series of The Conjuring, or their stay at the Conjuring House. But for this video, I'm going to be using the footage from, I believe, their first time that they went there, because it's their first impressions of the place, and it's not as long as a 4-part, because that would take a lot to condense in this video. So not only will I be comparing each footage from one another, I do have a bonus, something that I actually got that I don't think most people talked about in one of the episodes of Mysteries Decoded, and the references that the previous owners had gathered from one group to another, because that's always fascinating. Also, please note that I took so much time. This is my first video, so any feedback is very much appreciated because I wanted you guys to feel pretty excited about comparing data.
Feelings are so low. Yeah. Definitely seems to be.
So this is Sarah from Mysteries Decoded, and just pay attention what she says as she goes up the stairs, because the next clip, it's gonna give me chills.
The energy in here.
The energy in this staircase is intense.
What?
So I head upstairs.
What? Isn't that interesting? This is why I love the fact that we're doing this, the fact that we're looking at different footage from different groups. Because I highly doubt that they're gonna be looking at. Because here's the thing, as somebody that does like content and I've been on TV, I truly, to be honest with you guys, have never really closely looked at every group or anything like that. Never. I try to keep my own vision when I do videos and when I know I want to be reacting to things, because I don't want to get like persuade or put a bias. And I know for a fact that like Sarah, for example, is not going to be watching all of these paranormal groups. Like, she has a lot going on. So I highly doubt that she didn't even know this. As a matter of fact, I posted a video and she was like, wait, no way. I'm like, yes, you guys both had a reaction to the staircase.
This floor served as the bedrooms for the parent girls.
When I came in here, I hated in here.
That's what I was saying. We're walking
This room
over
is
here.
horrible.
Now, there's another clip that I didn't add to this exact spot, which is unfortunate because, again, there's just so much footage, but they felt so uncomfortable. So just keep this in mind as well as like people reacting once they get up there.
I grew up.
It's horrified to go in here too.
Yeah, I didn't want to walk in. I grew up in a very dark home.
Oh, I tripped. So this first video?
Now, he did say, oh, I tripped. And we could chalk this up to like being really bad stairs. But here's the thing, like, they also made the joke of like, was it the ghost? And there is spirits here in this house, at least, that have been known to give people some physical attacks, which again, I will be dissecting.
Is taken up in the master bedroom.
Watch the angle of the ball.
What? Can we rewind that? I mean, it looks like it's being pushed by something.
The floors are wonky. It's an old house. But we did try and reenact the ball landing in the same spot, and we couldn't get it to roll in the middle.
Ain't no way.
I just heard knocking sound. I just heard knocking sound, guys. I know you guys hear that.
Yeah.
You saw a shadow in here?
Yes.
So I should have added these two clips together, but I wanted you guys to kind of see the footage too of like how it isn't just the feeling that's felt up there, but it's also activity that is caught up there. And I think some of the stuff, like I even feel it getting kind of chilling here. I'm getting goosebumps. But yeah, these again are the Stokes twins. The last footage was from Mysteries Decoded.
I tell you guys,
You saw a shadow here. This room isn't haunted, right? Or scary?
This is the most active room.
As we return to the house to
It is
prepare
because
for
then there's
tonight's
this.
investigation, Corey shows us startling footage captured on a phone just before we arrived. You can clearly see the light in Andrea Perrin's childhood room flashing intensely. Could this just be faulty wiring in an old house? Or is it? Are you rolling? Okay.
Okay, so the reason why I added both that footage and this one is, now say what you want to say about Ghost Adventures. Some people think that they're frauds. Some people don't like Zach Baggins, and that's fair, right? That's, you're entitled to your opinion. But that cell phone footage is interesting because that was from the owners. And we know that the owners, from my understanding, is that they, they bought this house because they also are a paranormal investigating team. So I find that fascinating. And then this part isn't really, it is about the upstairs. This seemingly footage here, though, doesn't make it seem like it, but pay close attention to this part here. Give me 1 second.
We were just doing a drone shot of us walking to the house. Right. As we were walking up, I was staring into the screen. I just heard some enclosure. Okay, hold on. And did you see what I...
He's like, I just hear something upstairs. And Zach's like, hold on. Like, that cracked me up. But anyway.
saw? I did. Carl, what did you see?
I saw something dark just moving out there.
Chair rocking.
And then that footage will come to play too later on as we get to like the dining room section. But now we're going back to upstairs footage, okay?
Why is the chair rocking?
Whoa! Like, isn't that crazy that like the Stokes twins allegedly got like the chair rocking by itself, and then Zach Baggins and like the Ghost Adventures team get like an anomaly on the SLS. And if you don't know what the SLS is, I'm going to put a screenshot here of what the SLS is here. But what a weird coincidence. And then it gets even weirder, you guys.
There is a full figure in the next bedroom.
He's going to get really creepy. Watch.
Yo. We just captured something on here. This is the one we just captured. Look at that.
Oh, shit.
A figure.
Right there.
It looks like it's peering from behind the corner.
Literally, yes. It looks like a little kid.
It didn't look like that when I
like in that same
The
direction.
Johnson brothers claim they have used divining rods to communicate with spirits.
There is something in here that makes my chest feel kind of pressed on.
Isn't that interesting that she says that? Because Amanda, when she went up in that same room, she also said she didn't feel comfortable.
Wouldn't want to be up here alone, that's for sure. There's just something that's not welcoming.
Yeah. So now we're going to get into tech malfunction, as you kind of got a glimpse of with the upstairs.
I tried to look for it.
We've been having a lot of issues. This is actually our 5th system that we've had, and I can't explain it. I've never had this many issues with a camera system before.
Did it?
Yeah,
It's gonna be bad. What?
Really?
What do you mean? When it starts sucking energy like that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, when it starts. The microphone just went out, and that's never happened before. Like, it was working 2 minutes ago when we were outside. The ghosts have been known to siphon energy from the electronic.
Came downstairs during witching hour to try to film another scene, and it is saying, please charge the battery when the battery was fully
With Valor fully charged. And again, I just find it fascinating because, again, you have different groups and they're all experiencing similar things. Now we're getting to the library scene. Now, I didn't add the clip here, but it said that in the library that there was like the lady that was accused of being a witch had killed a baby in this room. And so people feel different, like very off vibes. So we're going to watch different clips as well in this part.
Here's another one that we didn't find until the next morning.
What?
And if you notice, I'm going to rewind here for a second. None of the other books around it move when it falls. A lot of times when books are stacked sideways like that, if one book is going to come out, the books behind it will shift. Nothing else.
Wow, that's amazing.
This is actually the first time the book fell off the shelf.
Yes.
It happened another night as well.
Well, what the hell was that?
You guys hear that? I know you guys heard it too.
Yeah, I heard that.
Not.
There's a demon by the name of Bathsheba here with us. No, that looks like a yes. Wait, the way it's swinging, it looks like a yes. Oh my God! Hey, let's get out of here.
Are there good spirits here?
That's saying no. That's
the no.
There's only bad
right?
spirits in here right now. Then why are we still in here?
Are there 7 people buried on the...
And for context too, she is a psychic medium. So while they are obviously like full of energy and they're freaking out, like, you know, you would think that she might know or have a little bit more of knowledge, just to keep that in mind. So it's not like a bunch of random people. Like, yes, you have them, you know, the Stokes Twins, but you have also a psychic medium that's answering a question with the pendulum.
Property.
That means yes, right? Yeah. Are they buried in the wall?
In the house with my mother happened in this room.
I'm in here and I feel very, very...
Now, that is one of the daughters from the Perrin family. And she was explaining to Zach the story of the library. And this is what he said.
Dizzy and very, very off balance.
Equilibrium.
And I have anxiety. And to be honest with you, while I'm in here with you, I don't like being in here with you. But I don't feel...
We saw that.
What did you see?
Like it peeped its head around that couch.
What did you see there?
Oh my God, I thought it was a little kid. I don't know.
You know what's interesting is that I think her name is Stas. If you watch this video, and it was done 2 years ago, not the most recent one, she was kind of quiet the whole time. So this did strike me as odd for her to react that way, because literally, like, from the whole footage, she really didn't react. Well, she obviously was listening and being a proactive listener, but she herself didn't have was freaking out the whole time she was there. So this is interesting that everybody is mentioning something about this library.
Oh, it's not a little kid. It looked like a little kid, peeked around and then it went back.
Like right behind that little couch? What the fuck?
Now, I call this the red door area because I've never been to this place. I would love to go for myself now that I've seen multiple different people go here. But there's this whole thing on this red door. And there have been a few reactions to this. Not out of all 4 are ever going to make it in each section, as you guys have been noticing. But I figured this was worth adding here because I think it's near the library or in that dining room area. I could be wrong. Again, never been there.
Let me hold that thought. Let me get the wide shots here, and then we'll come back to that. So we're just gonna get some wide shots.
Did you guys just hear that? Hello?
That's all the time.
By the way, that's Roger Perrin. He used to live in the house. That was the dad. And this is Sarah, who heard a banging. And so, yeah.
Hello?
Oh, we heard a door randomly shut. Wasn't that open?
Isn't that wild, you guys? I highly doubt that they're going to be watching a show on Channel 5 CW show and trying to mimic this or try to redo the same thing. I don't buy that.
What? Yo.
Wait a second. Hey, why is it closed?
You want
She's
to
like, I need to talk.
open this door and present yourself. This is usually where that guy hangs out.
You have people record a lot of children here.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not white, it's like beige. They all have hats on, but one of them has a different hat than the other.
Wide brim.
Yeah. And there's something shiny on their chests. Like, it almost seems like they're not aware of us going on or lights being on in here. Like they've been dead.
What was that? Did you hear the whistle?
It's the oldest part of.
So yeah, that one was a hard one to kind of dissect. And the reason why I added that footage in particular is because she's basically saying that she saw something out of the window, which will be very important as we dissect another footage later on. But then they heard a whistle is what she was saying. I don't know. It was hard to decipher because I know like there was like tapping, like obviously somebody was intentionally tapping on the table.
House.
It's like a really happy place in the home that lives here. I love it in here.
And now just because, and I kind of like that she says this because it is important to note that while people can experience things in the dining room, it doesn't mean that, you know, hauntings are always bad. And she did say that it is good. And then the owner, I believe,
Really?
Now, if you notice, you're probably feeling happy because of all this stuff that's hanging up and all wars off you. Frankincense, myrrh, sleigh bells, and stuff like that. That's why a lot of people just use this room as a command center.
And it's true. You do notice that a lot of people do discussions in here from the footage. But what I'm trying to wrap my head around, you guys, is that she says she feels good. And like the owner is pointing out that there's like this protection stuff around it. And then there's another clip of other people being there not feeling very good. But I'm wondering if maybe they didn't have this up yet when these other teams were there. That's something that I would like to know. Again, I've never been here, so I'm just kind of looking at it from that angle.
If you will, because they
Do you want to do it in a different room?
Yeah, I don't know what that
Not
is.
see anything, you're feeling something.
It's something where I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and then I thought, okay, and I don't think it was a person. Now it's
And so as you can see, she's like talking about this room, but you don't see anything hanging from the ceiling. So I don't know. And again, just because somebody feels something doesn't mean that it's bad. But I imagine too, since Jen isn't like a psychic or a paranormal investigator, like frequently trying to talk to spirits, that whatever was watching her might have made her feel uncomfortable.
of like the get out. I'm feeling the like kind of like a notice me sort of thing. Like the pressure in the room changed.
You're behind me. I know, Jay, I'm doing it too.
But they
Why
don't
are
like
we
it.
shaking? I don't know. I'm doing the same thing.
So again, I'm sure you guys might have your opinions on that, whether maybe some groups are faking it, whether some groups got something else. I think this is going to be a very interesting section of it. Like the dining room area that we just went over is going to be an interesting section for me to hear from your guys' perspective, because as you saw, it went from one person saying, I like it in here, and the owner talking about, yeah, we have a protection thing here, to another group there. And again, there could be all kinds of theories on that. Like maybe they didn't have a cleansing there when these groups went. Maybe, maybe they felt uncomfortable being watched. And so therefore they translated it as, hey, this doesn't feel good, and so it might be bad. Who knows, right? Now we're going to get into what I think is the living room area.
In the closet earlier. REM pod. Oh, the REM pod's going off. Can you set off the REM pod again? Oh my god.
Right behind me. Very, very loud.
It was so loud.
Oh, holy shit, that fucking freaked me out.
That shit's the worst because, like, I can always.
Yeah, like apparently they were hearing something in the other room, like the ball or something moved behind them. Which then, again, he just said, Sam and Colby were talking about how they're going to go to the basement. So now we're going to transition over to basement footage.
Anything in here that we should be afraid of?
Spirits awoke, watching.
What do you see?
Hides.
That's cool. Because you can hear the noise, the radio so loud. And Sarah is not somebody that would fake anything.
Here all the time.
Daily.
Can you say a swear word? I give you permission. Go ahead.
Object.
Okay.
You.
Thank you.
Chris.
Okay, I didn't add it here because of time, but Corey then says the reason why he asked for the spirit talking to Sarah through the Estes method, which is like, wearing a headphone, listening to the radio, that's the Estes method. For a swear word is that you're less likely going to hear a swear word through a spirit box, like when it's scanning through different channels on the radio, which is a good one. That's a good tip to note. Now we're going to look at these other teams in the basement.
Spirit down here with us. Did you see that? Yes. Did you see the thing turn red? Alan, hey, I can't hear you guys. Do you see it? All the way. 5. All the way.
Okay, so now he said yes, and that to me it seems a little bit more credible than the K2 meter, because my only thing with the K2 meter is you're not supposed to have electricity going on next to a K2 meter.
Do you want to harm us? Possibly. Hey, I keep seeing that thing go off. Every time I answer a question, that thing goes off. Guys, we're not faking this. It's going off again. Why is it going so crazy? Because it's witching hour and we're in the basement right now. Why?
Just so you know, which I don't, as a psychic medium, hauntings happen any time of the day. It's not just a witching hour. But anyway.
They're doing that. If there's a spirit here, could you please stop touching the REM pod? It just stopped.
Interesting.
Yeah, it actually just stopped. Thank you so much. What do you want with us? Hurt.
No.
What is your name?
Sheba.
Okay. Hey, that's a hey. She's from the grave. It's from the grave. All right. It's from the grave. I'm scared to leave. I'm scared to walk past it. What was that? What was that? What was that? What was
I felt
that?
something tug.
So it's interesting that they do get really spooked. And I could also say that because they're in the basement, that basement seems scary. Even I would be like jumping that basement because I hate bugs and all this other things. But it's interesting that she starts to freak out. They all start to freak out because then we're going to see Sam and Colby after this.
We need to leave. If you guys want to push this, you're more than welcome to. Like, I respect it. If you guys want to be safe, we need to leave.
If we're getting something right now, like, this is what we want, right?
Yeah, I think this is what we want.
I totally understand that. I work with spirits every single day of my life. This isn't something that you want to communicate with. You can cut this totally. Like, if you want to do this for views, like, this is your guys' job. I get that. But this is also...
So then they go upstairs, and of course Sam and Colby stay downstairs. But that is interesting that the basement tends to have this very like intense energy. And as we saw, it's very smart too. We're going to be having a bonus clip later on about the basement. So hang tight with me, guys. Now, we've made it this far, halfway through. And I just want to say, if you are here, thank you so much. I put so much work into this for you guys to see different investigators and compare their data. And I just want to say thank you so much. And you are now considered somebody that's part of the Strange family. So make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you give me a like and hit the bell for all notifications and continue carrying on the conversation down below. But let's watch now the physical attacks section.
Inside the house and let them roll. During this time, something begins to happen to me.
Camera, bro. Where you at? I can't see you. What? Something's getting me on my side. What? It's an attack. Something's getting me on my side. What side? Where's it hurting? It's my side. Which side? Where my kidney is.
As I'm setting up an upstairs X camera, which isn't rolling yet, I feel something stabbing me in my kidney area.
Felt like a knife going into me, man.
Mm-hmm. This is also the same exact spot where demonologist Carl Johnson felt a stabbing or stinging in his hand.
Here.
So that is interesting because, now you're in that same footage of Ghost Adventures. You have both Zach and Carl. Carl was also on Mysteries Decoded, by the way, you guys. So you will see him, and you probably have seen him in the previous footage I've been sharing with you guys with Mysteries Decoded. But now you have this other moment with Amanda on the Sam and Colby video.
Remember the story?
No, I don't see it. Red. She was scratching it.
Was it like right there?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It literally just fucking happened. That hurts so bad.
The story of Bathsheba.
Bathsheba, that's what she does.
She sticks like or killed her baby with a needle.
Yeah.
And then was sticking needles into Carolyn's back. She feels it.
That's fucking
We should do this fast. I feel like it's
okay.
Okay, a little bonus thing on that. So Sarah had gone to the Conjuring House, as I mentioned, and she was my co-host for the Spirit Squad special. And you want to know something that to this day blows my mind, because after watching this footage, if you get to watch Mysteries Decoded presents Spirit Squad, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. But if you get to watch that, there is a part where I'm conducting a seance, and the Perrin name and all this stuff came up on the Ovilus. Now, an Ovilus is a device that paranormal investigators use, and it's basically receiving a text from a spirit. Now, we got some words, and then shortly thereafter, Brittany got scratched. Now, I'm not really supposed to say that because we were in a whole different place when this happened, but it's interesting that that happened, and then Brittany got scratched through my seance. Maybe her and I should do a discussion on this. Let me know as well. But we, till this day, I truly believe that it was the spirit that came through from this place. Anyway, let's watch footage from the outside.
Are you here with us right now? Yes, I heard yes. I heard yes. I heard yes. Are you an evil or good spirit? I heard evil. Evil. I heard evil. I heard evil.
Devil.
Devil. I heard devil. I heard devil.
Are you going to haunt us?
Are you dead? What? Are you dead? My phone, I thought I turned it off and I felt it vibrate. So I pick it up and it says, "Are you dead?" It said, "Are you dead?" Did you get that on camera? I think so. Did you see that it said unknown caller? Yes. So, and then I went to turn it off and then it said, "Are you dead?" on the screen. We continue on to the...
So she was right, just randomly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The King Phillips war, and he was like, "We got to get another ground radar team here to look into it and just focus on that area," and they did.
Okay, let me rewind a little bit. So, oops, this is a scene where they're talking about the outside and how facing that, I guess one of the windows upstairs, that one of the daughters said that in her dream, either in her dream or she heard, I don't remember anymore, but that there were 7 spirits that were buried in the walls of the house. Now, Corey is talking about how Ghost Adventures went out there and they did a live stream and they did this whole testing outside to figure out whether people were buried there. And yes, they were there, as you saw. I've been using Ghost Adventures footage. But Mysteries Decoded did the same thing.
The King Phillips war, and he was like, "We got to get another ground radar team here to look into it and just focus on that area," and they did, and they came up with 5 grave shafts.
What?
Yes, right next to the
air and all the utilities come in.
He mentions it right next to the wall. But then Mysteries Decoded did the same thing. So that means that they've tested the property several times, might I add.
Front of the building. There's no reason why there should have been anything dug up over in this area.
I'm noticing how close this area is to the wall. Do you think it's possible that maybe bodies could be buried here?
It's entirely possible, yeah. I mean, we're not sure what the actual digging was for when they did it out here, but I mean, being that it's right up next to that wall, and that's what the theory is, it's entirely possible that that's the case.
But you're not able to tell if there are remains or anything like that.
At this stage of the game, it's probably too far decomposed, so it wouldn't show up on the GPR.
So that's interesting, but I mean, I think most people have now concluded that regardless, there's no other answer but that. Do you know what I mean? This is pretty self-explanatory. The basement door locking.
It's locked.
It's locked. Hey, guys, it's actually locked.
Okay.
We're the only ones in this house. Only people in this house. So that means a spirit can lock this down here, guys. Why did this open? It just open. Why did this open?
Well, then let's go.
That is weird. because they could have chalked it up, but then you see this with Sam and Colby.
Yo. Yeah. There's noises down here. What the fuck?
Either they need like new doors or something, because that is weird. That is weird, right? Like that's kind of weird. But it could also be the fact that it's an old house, but still, you know what I mean? Now we have a bonus because you guys now saw different teams compare things. And it's safe to say that the Conjuring House is haunted. But you guys, there's stuff that I saw while watching this footage that it's not really comparing other things. It's just creepy. Okay, so let's watch.
I'm David.
David, are you the little boy here?
Yeah.
Is there anybody here you want to talk to?
Arnold, January.
So she says David. And now this is from the same episode, Mysteries Decoded. Jen had gone to the library and got archives of murders that took place in this town and in this house. And it gets really weird, you guys.
31st, 1849, throat cut with razor by Bill Norton.
Do you see up there, the very top here? And I'm going to try and move my mouse as much as I can, but there's under the word murders by David Cornstalk, who was hung for it May 27th, 1791. That's weird, right? Maybe I'm reaching, but it's weird. Isn't that weird? He was hung for it. Now there is the whole noose lady at the house too, but isn't that weird, you guys? Isn't that weird?
Dexter Richardson. Murders.
David, there it is again.
Murders, accidentally drowned. Accidentally drowned, continued. Yikes. Accidentally killed, burned to death. Death by scalding. Found dead. Dropped dead, heart attack. Suicide by shooting. Suicidal drowning. Found dead. Suicide by poison. Suicide by hanging. Suicide by cutting their throats. They drowned. Cutting their throats. You know, I wonder, this is such a small area. And you have so many suicides.
Video does.
Okay, and then another extra added bonus is from the same episode where they are talking to somebody that does study footage. And this is what she had to say about both the ball dropping CCTV footage and the book falling off the bookcase.
Strange things and a very low resolution, and it'll start trying to fill in the void or the zeros and the ones, so it creates artifacts, which is why I put this in slow motion and ran it forward and backward about 50 times. Because you want to, make sure that you can differentiate between what are the artifacts in this video and where's the real ball. What I can tell you is that the video taken from the cell phone, even though it's a couple generations away, it's not manufactured.
Can you clarify what you mean by that?
I can't visibly see any pushing or pulling or strings or anything like that to make this object appear to move by itself.
So from your point of view, this video was not staged. What about the falling book video that I sent you?
I'm sure you guys cleared off the shelf and looked behind it and all that good stuff.
We did look at the wall itself. We looked at the shelf, and there was nothing that led us to believe that it was rigged in any way.
Okay, so what I did go through was the metadata on the phone, and that was recording at 15 frames per second. You're automatically missing information. And we're looking how we're dropping frames in between movement. We just can't be definitive about what the end result is. We need a higher quality video from the original source so we can be able to determine if this was paranormal activity or just.
So yeah, that it ends there. But basically she's saying that that second footage of the bookcase dropping, I mean, it is impressive, but because there's like data missing, that you can't say that this wasn't maybe manipulated, not to say that like maliciously manipulated and like not people like, oh my God, I'm going to fake it, but more of like maybe like did the was the footage, like, was the connection well, right? Because there's missing, so there could be the connection not being well, and so it skipped something. So if you made it towards the very end, thank you so much. Seriously, thank you. I put so much work into this for you guys, and I wanted to be able to look at different teams go into this place and gather some of the data here. What are the commonalities? What are commonalities that people got actually on footage on top of that? And to me, this definitely screams that the house is indeed haunted, but what type of hauntings, right? Because I do think that there is residual hauntings here, and I also think that there is smart energy here and entities here as well, as you saw. But if you guys have any other thoughts, let me know down below, and how can I make this video better?